Peace, peace. Okay, I see Yoshiko. Okay, Yoshika. Cool. So update. Damn, I got all my stuff in the back. Update. Hope y'all can hear me. That's okay. As you see, I upgraded. We do have the chat now, and all of the meetings will be recorded as well. So I had to update it all for you all. So therefore, even if you miss, you'll be able to get back in. It's just, of course, if you're live, you get to ask questions as well. So give me 1 second. I have so much to do today. Getting ready for trips and more trips. Is everybody there? I want to be able to hear somebody real quick.
Hello.
Okay, peace. Just wanted to check, make sure y'all can hear me as well. Okay. All right. Okay, I see the people that's in here. Cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. It's 7 o'clock, so I think that's enough time for everybody to have joined in. Let me make sure. Go ahead and send out one last. I don't want nobody missing out because they forgot really quick. All right. Cool. All right, we looking good. All the ladies are in the house, it seems. I'll let everybody else catch up later. What's up, Ashley, Sheila, Lashika, Yoshiko, NY over there, and iPhone. Okay, let me pull my notes here. First, I want us to listen to this video. Hope you all can hear it. And then we're going to go into a few things. Let me know in the chat if this is clear and you can hear it.
So in college,
Is this good?
I was a government major, which means I had to write a lot of papers. Now, when a normal student writes a paper, I spread the work out a little like this. You know, you get started maybe a little slowly, but you get enough done in the first week that some heavier days later on, everything gets done and things stay civil. And I would want to do that like that. That would be the plan.
I wish I could show y'all the screen as well. Let's see if I can show you.
I would have it all ready to go, but then actually the paper would come along, and then I would kind of do this. And that would happen every single paper. But then came my 90-page senior thesis, a paper you're supposed to spend a year on. I knew for a paper like that, my normal workflow was not an option. It was way too big a project. So I planned things out, and I decided it kind of had to go something like this. This is how the year would go. So I'd start off light, and I'd bump it up in the middle months. And then at the end, I would kick it up into high gear. It's just like a little staircase. How hard can it be to just walk up the stairs?
It's Sunday night. The day has come to a close, and the sight of twinkling stars in the night sky is as welcome as the crisp night air. That is, not very welcome, because it's Sunday night, and I still have to write my English essay. So I get ready to write, and I realize that in order to write well, I gotta channel some of my favorite writers, Steinbeck, Jane Austen, except it might have been a while. So strictly to remember what they wrote like, I indulge research with a novel or two. After that's done, I sit back down at my desk, ready to crank out what I'm sure is going to be a masterpiece. Except that's when I realize my nails are too long. How am I supposed to grip my pencil properly with my nails being too long? It simply can't be done. So I spend half an hour looking for the nail cutter, and I file down those bad boys. After every nail on my body has been trimmed and buffed and polished, I get right back on task. And that's when it hits me. I haven't worked out yet today. Or this past year, but somehow that didn't seem relevant until right this moment. 2 hours, 3 push-ups, and 24 cat videos later, I realized that exercise just isn't for me. But of course, one must follow the standard conventions of hygiene, so since I exercised, I hop into the shower for a quick cleanse. I exit the bathroom fresh-faced and hydrated, but one glance at the clock across the room stops me cold in my tracks. It's 12:30 a.m., and I haven't written a single word of my English essay. I somehow managed to finish the essay and turn it in, but it isn't my best work. I feel like a failure, and the future doesn't seem all that exciting. The question, what's next, generates only a dreadful sense of gloom, because I know what's next, the same cycle of emotions I went through while writing that essay. So on Monday night, it's the same guilt, stress, anxiety, failure. And on Tuesday night, it's the same guilt, stress, anxiety, and failure. And on Wednesday, and on Thursday, and on Friday. No matter how much I tell myself to be better, that I'll regret it if I procrastinate, I can't seem to change my behavior. It seems like this will just be my life till I graduate, and my same bad habits will follow me into college and my career too. I even see a vision of myself in my old age, alone, in a messy apartment, crying and blowing my nose into my shirt as I watch Say Yes to the Dress. And I'm watching TV because I'm procrastinating on writing my will. So, I was procrastinating on writing my will. Now, that's what I am, a procrastinator. Now, believe it or not, being a procrastinator isn't easy. I invest a lot of time, effort, and resources into it. For example, every day after school, I dedicatedly follow a rigorous schedule. From 3:25 to 4:30, I dawdle. From 4:30 to 6:42, I delay. From 6:42 to 7:14, one can usually find me loitering, and then until 11:29, I'm just way too busy twiddling my thumbs. So other than these valiant efforts on my part, what exactly does being a procrastinator mean? Well, a procrastinator, simply put, is someone who puts off doing work. There are 2 types, actually. There's a situational procrastinator whose behavior depends on the specific task they have to do. If they don't like it, they'll push it off and try to avoid it. Think most people with laundry, cleaning, and anything involving unpleasant conversation, which is why my mother still has not given me the talk. Then there's chronic procrastination. Now, the chronic procrastination has trouble finishing any task at all. They generally have a tough time getting anything done. In case you're wondering, I kind of fall into this category. The chronic procrastinator's worst nightmare is when an unpleasant task combines with their high impulsivity and lack of self-discipline to create a whirling cesspool of, I'd rather not. So knowing all this, we can say that there's a definite link between work and procrastination. There's a definite link between our attitude towards work, whether we like it or not, and procrastination. So me being this procrastinator, what does that say about me? Does this mean that I'm nothing more than a lazy person doomed to failure? Does this mean that I lack the basic skills necessary to manage myself? Well, let's find out. So after the essay debacle, just to make sure that I'm not the only one with this issue while everybody else is sitting around in perfect world sipping apple cider out of wine glasses while lounging poolside, I ask around a bit. Turns out a fantastic amount of people are procrastinators. Almost all of my friends go through the same homework completing process as me. They don't like the hassle of completing hours for honor societies, so they don't. Until the very last second. My 23-year-old cousin hates paying his bills, so he doesn't. Until the very last second. My teacher hates grading our tests, so he doesn't. Until the very last second. And my parents hate filing their taxes. So they don't. Say it with me now. Until the very last second. Yeah, IRS loves them. So I'd established that procrastination was a big issue that needed some attention. I started wondering if it would always be this way for me, if I'd always be so unsatisfied in my life. And that's when it hits me. What would make for the best world-changing innovation? What would make for the most epic TEDx talk ever? How about the one in which I fix procrastination? I could see it right then. An End to Procrastination by Archinamurthy. So here I stand in front of you today, solving procrastination. So I was pretty determined to solve this little nuisance once and for all, except I had no idea how I was going to. I mean, the whole point of this challenge being revolutionary was that no one had ever done it before. Lucky for me, however, I happened to find myself stuck in a car trip with my family when my mother pulled out a book to read aloud, the Bhagavad Gita for children. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Bhagavad Gita is an ancient Hindu text that supposedly contains the answers to life. And this is the part where my ears perk up and I'm suddenly interested, because if the answers to life are in this thing, then the cure for procrastination's gotta be in there somewhere. So I'm trapped in the car. I'm animatedly listening, not wanting to miss the unveiling of the big secret. The excitement is mounting and mounting and mounting. And then I hear it. I hear the ultimate truth. And the secret to procrastination is this. One must do action without any expectation of the fruit of the action. That is, one must do work without any expectation of a reward, or conversely, a fear of consequence. It should be done simply for the sake of doing the work itself, with no emotion invested in any other external factor. This didn't make sense to me. The way I saw things, the entire world operated solely based on external factors. In my reality, I did my homework because if I didn't, I wouldn't do well in my classes. My teacher grades our tests because if he doesn't, he will fail in teaching us. My cousin pays his bills because if he doesn't, he won't have a place to live. I thought everybody did things because they had to, because there were consequences or rewards that controlled them. But since I was at rock bottom and I had no other go, I decided to give this advice of the Bhagavad Gita a try. So I developed into a method that I could follow in my own life. Now, there are a few guidelines to this method, but before we begin, I need you to understand that the first thing I did was name this method something extremely important. I call it Murthy's Method to Mindful Metacognitive Meaning. MMMMM, or for short. Guideline number 1. In order to succeed, one must set a concrete, specific goal. I set the goal of studying for my SAT every day. So the goal behavior was to come home, study for my SAT for 30 minutes, do my other homework, and then if I had leftover time, to enjoy other leisure activities. Additionally, while I was going through my routine, going on the phone or my internet was not allowed because it gave me a means to procrastinate all too easily. Number 2, only feelings of positivity must surround this endeavor. This entails both propagating my own positive thoughts and pushing off any negative thoughts. For example, whenever I procrastinated until 10 p.m. or just skipped doing my homework entirely and completed it the class period before, I had to acknowledge the error and then put a positive spin on the situation, perhaps by saying that tomorrow would be a clean slate and a new opportunity to make better choices. Number 3, at the end of the day, I had to acknowledge either a feeling of satisfaction upon making some sort of sincere effort towards my goal, or if I failed to do that, I had to acknowledge the feelings of guilt and anxiety within me. This again doesn't mean that I was to beat myself up over failure, but that I was to understand that it just didn't feel good when I avoided work, and that it did feel good when I didn't. This step is imperative because self-reflection is key to the entire process. Being aware of your emotional reactions to the method and asking yourself why you feel and act the way you do, that is what causes lasting change, as opposed to going through the process without, processing anything. Number 4, no matter if I accomplished a lot, a little, or nothing at all, I was to take some time out of my day to feel grateful that I even had the ability to do whatever goal behavior it was that I wished to accomplish. I exercised feeling grateful that I was even in a position to take an SAT to pursue a higher education, or that I even had the mental capacity to sit through a test and do my best on it. The Bhagavad Gita is also a spiritual and religious text, so it does say to work and to offer good and such. If this helps, one should follow this advice, but if one doesn't believe in this, ignore it. Guideline number 5. I also followed guideline number 5, which was to keep a reflection journal. While this meant nothing by the way of scientific evidence and was often just a bunch of random thoughts jotted down on...
All right, I think I can stop right there. But I wanted to start with something that was of a shared experience that we all get to listen to before you get to start drawing your own conclusion thought. So everybody suffers from, I believe that statistically 20-30% of people in 2019 suffer from procrastination. And I believe at this point, procrastination should be deemed a mental illness. And because we live in a time where we're more okay, cool. So we live in a time where we're more distracted than ever, which means that it cuts down our time of productivity. So, at average time because we have these phones, for one, I believe that one of the most number one techniques you can do for productivity is keep your phone away from your work. Because those distractions of alarms and things of that nature triggers your mind. Instead of being productive, you're always looking for the alarm. You're always looking for reward somewhere else other than in your work. So instead of you having the satisfaction of, I got something complete, no, now you're getting a distraction. Your phone just gave you a notification. Now you're searching for that reward within the phone. And what I would like to do is I can give you, techniques. I can give you the science of it. But the overall goal is for everyone to develop their own technique towards procrastination. And also when to be able to observe yourself when you're procrastinating, because that's going to become a major key. At that moment of procrastination, each one should have a technique to be able to observe themselves and identify like, this is the moment I'm procrastinating. This is the moment that work supposed to be done, that I'm not doing work. And the more you become observant of yourself, the more you check yourself and take accountability for your next action, next thought, and next decision. So if you listen to the young girl in the video, she kept talking about that. And it was a great quote by Farrakhan. He said something to the effect that, when you are procrastinating and not getting work done, you would do outside work to seek joy, to do something else that will make you further procrastinate. So yes, I have this deadline that I must do to get this work done. So let me start making up these excuses and make myself feel as if I'm being productive, but it's actually getting me away from the activity of getting the initial work done. So boom, at first she couldn't get the deadline done. She started looking at her hair. Then she started looking at working out. Then she started looking at taking a shower. All of these different things drove her away from productivity. And that's the same thing that happens in our environments, is that I need to get this work done. No, let me get on the phone. No, let me call this person. You start seeking joy in other things that make you even less productive. And so there's a trick that they call the Pomodoro trick. And it's supposed to be widely effective. And the Pomodoro trick is basically, they call it the Pomodoro because it's based off this little tomato timer that they developed. But it's basically a technique of giving yourself a time limit of productivity and giving yourself a break system. So let's say you will say, you know what, I'm going to work for the next 25 minutes straight. And then if these 25 minutes straight is up, I'm going to take me a 5-minute break. 5-minute break is over, I'm going to work for another 25 minutes. 25 minutes is up, I'm going to work for another 5 minutes. And you do that 4 times. So then after the 4th time, then you give yourself a greater reward. Now you say, I'm going to take me a 10-minute break. You know what I mean? And then you work for the next 25 minutes. Then I'm going to take me a 15-minute break because you are increasing your reward each time you become more and more productive. And then what it does is it also lets you know the time that you actually need to start getting these tasks done. And so you become addicted to the reward system, being able to take a break from productivity. Hold on, I'm going to go ahead and move your mic over there. Okay. All right, cool. So everybody's muted. So, you know, I would like to see that everybody have a scale of efficiency that increases by like at least 20 to 30%. Meaning that for one, not only do you cut down the amount of time that it takes for you to get work done, you cut down the amount of time it takes you to get work done, so you become more efficient during less time because you only giving yourself a certain amount of time to get these tasks done. But when you lay it out to be like, you know what, I'll just do it at any time, that means you don't have a time slot measured for that work productivity, which is a system of management. Because if you go to a job or if you have a task manager on a particular, activity that you need to do with inside work or a project manager will give you a time and a deadline. So having these deadline systems is not supposed to be an anxiety attached to the deadline, but more so a reward. Because not only is you letting yourself know that you're getting better, you know what I mean, but you also get the reward of being able to take a break, you know what I mean, and do something that's totally unattached to work, then draw yourself back in. But as they say in neuropsychology, they did the brain scans of people that procrastinate, and what they found out was that when the person procrastinates, the pain triggers in your brain the same way as if you actually having a real painful experience. So that most people actually are going through procrastination, it's time for me to do this, and your brain is triggering pain signals. So it's literally painful for you to actually get that task done. But it becomes less painful when you observe that fact and you push through it. Because then you letting your brain know that actually, no, this is not one of those tasks that's painful. So now you train yourself to actually create a system of pleasure when you're getting the work done. You feel better. And then when you get it done, you're like, damn, that felt good. That was a hella productive ass day. You know what I mean? You think back on your positive past experience of all of the things that you got done throughout that day. You know what I mean? And then you get happy, and then it makes you want to get something else done because you're so productive. And so it comes to this point where you don't look at pain as an excuse to stop. You look at pain as a reason to move forward, because you know that if you don't move forward, then that's that part of life that stops you. You know what I mean? And a lot of people stop at the pain. Nope, I don't want to do another hour. I don't want to do another 2 hours. I don't want to listen to this anymore. I don't want to watch that anymore. But the people that get over that pain triggering system are the people that get to accomplishment. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth the pain? And when you get to ask yourself that's when you become so aware of it. And when you become aware of it, then you are able to override that system of pain and make that decision for yourself. So it becomes your technique. Pushing past pain gets you past procrastination into progress and production. Those are the P's. So when you think about pain equals procrastination, but pushing past pain equals production. So do you want to get to procrastination or do you want to get to production? And it trains you so that the more you push past pain, the easier and the less painful it becomes. So it just becomes a habit for you. And then productivity becomes a habit to where it no longer even triggers the pain system. Now it's just productivity. Things that used to be painful to you were easy. It's like if you ever worked out before, when I go to the gym now, certain things when I first started was painful. I hated doing legs. Now when I go there, I'm so happy that I can do legs that it feels great. Like, man, I remember when this used to be painful. it lets me know that I got to another level, that I'm more productive. So now when I walk in the gym, I'm like, where the leg machines at? And that's how you kind of look at your work. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I hated sitting down doing this at first. Now, it lets me know that I've evolved. I've evolved past that other self that couldn't get to this task management. So I'm happy about that. So you get to think about that positivity, and then you get to wondering, what other level could I get at? You know what I mean? Look how this feels. And then you get to operate, and she talked about emotion, and that's very important when you know what emotion you're feeling. Is this anxiety? Is it stress? Is it fear? When you are able to pinpoint that vibration, because emotion is just a vibration. Your brain literally has vibrations that it go through, and it creates what they call a frequency. And so you get to ask yourself, what the hell vibration is this? It gives you more control when you observe it. Like, oh, like you really get to sit back and look at yourself like, I'm going through anxiety right now. This is fear right now. This is stress right now. I'm saddened right now. And at that moment where you get to observe yourself, you get to have power over that which you are aware of. So you get to calm yourself down, because in moment of observation is calmness to observe anything. If you stop in the middle of a room that's chaotic and you are standing still, you are not in the chaos. You're just observing the chaos. So in self, you have to figure out, how do I stand still even when I'm involved in the chaoticness right now? And then it gives you more power to be able to make the correct decisions. And so that kind of leads me into where I want to go to. And I hope you all have a notebook or something for the next part. And I'm also going to need you to write this down, because there's going to be some homework involved in this. And then I also, matter of fact, before I jump into that, I want to ask everybody, because I asked everybody last time, what was that one thing that they were willing to give up in order to let themselves know that they were serious about being disciplined for their goals? And so I want to go around and hear everybody's one thing that they considered giving up, because I gave up coffee, and it's been tough, but I haven't drunk any. You know what I mean? But every time I don't drink coffee, I'm reminded, I'm doing this because of the Keys Academy. And then the Keys Academy is towards another goal of discipline. So it's just a constant reminder, a constant attachment. So we're going to start with Lashika. I want to know about, what's one thing that you decided to sacrifice for your homework as, just as for your discipline towards your goals.
I chose to give up some sleep. That was very valuable to me. So I've given up some sleep time to be more productive, but yet battling through this procrastination it's been a challenge, to be truthful.
I know. Procrastination is like I say, I think at this point it's kind of like a mental illness that people go through, and the phones do not make it easier. And that's why, like, this right here, this group, this listening
Picking up
is so important, because you need that to fight against everything else that's coming in. You know what I mean? Like I tell people, is that our generation will have the hardest time than any other generation in existence from being distracted, because we have more distractions than any other. You know what I mean? It could be from sex to relationships. Just the amount of sheer options of distractions pull you away. It can be from food. Let me order me some food on my Uber Eats. It's something that I can do instead of being productive. It can be from the social media, the entertainment. Oh, this TV show come on, this marketing. And you're getting notifications. So for one, I would turn all notifications off on my phone, especially if you have any notifications from social media. I turn all mine off on my phone. I don't want none of the notifications. None of them. Because there's nothing happening on here that's more important than I'm currently doing. If it was important, then I would just go to my page and check it. But you don't want it. What happens is it creates this reward system. Every time you look at it, another reward. Another reward. And Instagram has a way, and all social media sites have a way to where they will even delay certain notifications so they can send you more at once. So it triggers more stimuli so that you get forced to spend more time on the app. So turn off your notifications. And when you're doing work, turn off your phone, put it somewhere else. Don't even have it in the same room as you, because when it's in the same room, it's easy for you to reach. And arm's reach is the worst. Put it in the other room. So you know that if you want to get distracted, you have to commit to that distraction and get up, go away from your goals, walk into a whole nother room, pick up the phone, and then continue to be distracted. So taking your distractions outside self lets you know that you're serious about whatever goal that you're about to get done. You know what I mean? For the next 25 minutes that I'm about to invest. And then when I take my 5-minute break, cool, I'll get on the phone then. After that, you only take 5 minutes to check your little social media page. There ain't shit going on that important. After that, boom, I get back to work. That's all I needed to. Now let me get back to my progression. And so let the phone be the reward after the work. Don't let the rewards distract you from the actual work. So let's get to Warnisha Jackson. What's the one thing that you are ready to sacrifice or have sacrificed rather in order to make yourself recognize that you're being more disciplined for your goals? You there?
I was on 24. I got the kids.
I can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I gave up Facebook.
Okay.
Mommy.
Something that you
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Hello?
Yes. Was Facebook something that you used a lot at first?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Was Facebook something you used a lot at first?
Yes, I was on Facebook 24/7.
Okay.
It started to drain me.
Yeah.
Because of the notifications. I was getting notifications every 5 minutes. And Facebook would text me, I would get emails, and I would get the notifications through the app.
Yeah.
And it just got overwhelming. Like, it got overwhelming, keeping up with people.
Right.
And, just subconsciously wanting likes. I had to realize that too, just living in another reality, and not living in my reality. I started to notice like I was neglecting a lot of things in my house. Like the outside, I was neglecting, like taking out the trash and just being on the phone. It was the phone period. That's pretty much it. Facebook.
Okay.
And meat.
And meat. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
like far as it's for me to tell you all what to do, but a lot of this information is not enough unless you do change your living. I call it a living instead of a diet because you live.
Mm-hmm.
You don't change your body and your don't do your good. So I suggest everybody have a change. I'm not telling you to become vegetarian or vegan or anything, but I'm just saying that to being disciplined, you need that electrical source of energy to control your stabilization.
Definitely.
Some of the foods animals are killed, where there might be fear, maybe an anxiety the animal is facing. So you may be eating anxiety and not even knowing it. And like those cause mood disorders. Eating a lot of meat, it has you moving in one way or the other way. So my suggestion is everybody at least try it, see how they selves feel. You know what I mean? Get a lot of those antibiotics out your system. See how you feel when you are natural. Go through a cleanse, whatever you can do. And also go to a new environment. New environments are amazing for you because it makes your mind think in a different capacity. So changing the way you eat and changing, where you are is monumental because those are two things that have control over you. Food becomes you. And then your external cues within your environment, your environment becomes your influence. And so, like, you said you gave up Facebook, and every time, and this is important for everybody, every time you give up something, you replace it with something else so that you keep
right
in your life. So you don't fall off with that rhythm, and it makes you feel kind of depressed because you're missing something. That rhythm is off. So, like giving up Facebook, you might actually want to be around people because social cues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Better. So instead of around people, you're around them in real life. You feel that real energy and that real connection. So having that rhythm every time you replace one thing, an activity that was non-productive, replace it with a productive. You're gonna find that you get the same feeling from the productivity that you did from the escapism. So thank you. Let's go to Brooklyn, baby.
Hello.
Yes.
All right. Well, I've been giving up. Like, I've stopped drinking soda already, so I decided to go full harder and drinking just water this year. And I've been doing a good job by substituting, like, even bottled water. I've been trying to go to, like, natural grocers and getting, like, alkaline water if I can, and been looking into what resources on how I can stay drinking the good water and making it, like, my own, adding lemon to it, adding lime, fruit to it, just so I don't kind of go back into drinking juices or any sugary products.
Okay.
So really trying to stay focused on that.
Man, look, sugar. I think sugar is like the #1 killer for discipline.
Exactly.
For real, for real. And that's something that I'm gonna work on. Maybe next month I'm gonna work on giving up just sugar for a month.
Well, you've been motivating me to go into the gym like more consistently. I think that's going to be my next month one, is consistently hitting the gym, because I have my membership and I still pay it, but I probably go to like 2 times a week, and that's not doing anything. So I need to like make that my next month.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sugar is so important. I was talking with the homie, what's his name? God damn, I can't even remember his name right now. But he was telling me how he gave up sugar like 10 years ago, and how it's been like the greatest thing for like his discipline. He gave up sugar and became a vegan all at the same time.
And another thing, ladies, like, it's really good towards like, or just even men, like your skin. Like, I've noticed how much my skin has changed from drinking just a lot of water. Like, I thought I had acne and I thought I had problems with my skin, and I really didn't. I just was drinking too much sugary substances.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now that's. I mean, you become what you eat on a literal sense.
That sugar starves your skin.
Yeah, 90% water. All right, let's go. Let's get through this, because I want to make sure y'all get to this last part that I'm going to break down. So Jacqueline, let's start with you.
Hey y'all. I gave up 3 things: Starbucks, eating out, and criticizing myself.
Okay. We're going for the triple threat. So self-sabotage, Starbucks, and you gave up saving. I mean, spending more money, being more frugal. So that's what's up.
And you can control what you eat better when you actually preparing it yourself.
So what you replace Starbucks with? Home bought coffee?
Yep.
Okay, that's what's up. I mean, yeah, Starbucks don't deserve your money anymore.
Man, they just need to give me that cafe latte recipe.
You'll be all right. Yeah, so congratulations.
Been really good, and I just replaced the criticizing with just encouragement of myself, which has been good and helping me move differently.
Yeah.
Because you can't expect yourself to operate at a certain frequency if you're criticizing yourself. You have to encourage yourself and make sure that you feed in yourself things that's going to help you operate the way you want to operate. And so that's what I've been working on.
Absolutely. I mean, every time you would have criticized yourself, or you do, now you get to override it with some positivity. And it's the consistent system of, let me remind myself, like, no, that's my old self that would have criticized myself. My new self has positive, influence over me. So those times when you by yourself and you like, you're not good at this, or you do this, like, no. Let's back this up. I am good at this. I do this. It's positive reinforcement. And then every time you walk past drive by Starbucks, you remember you doing it because you want to be more disciplined. You want to do less procrastination. Every time you don't go out somewhere, it just all reinforcement towards that vision or whatever you have for that goal. So thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly, let's go to you.
Yes. I gave up a few things. Iceberg lettuce for spinach, eggs and cheese, and actually like saying a compliment to myself at least one time a day. So complimenting myself more so.
Egg and cheese, dairy. That's good. Yeah, man. That's definitely a good one. You might as well become a. Hey, I'm not suggesting nothing.
Listen, I already don't eat meat, so I had to do something because I have a goal, a food goal that I'm trying to get to. So I said, like, baby steps. So,
Cool.
yeah.
That's cool. That's gonna keep you be a little more alkaline without them dairy products.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta breeze through these. So let me see. Sheila, did I already do you, Sheila? No, okay. So Sheila, then Roderick.
So for me, I think I've been trying to do more so vegan. So I've been on and off about it for about a year, but really trying to stick to it now. That bacon is hard. But I've been really good at sticking to it right now. So that's been great. And then getting rid of like clothing shopping and like the frivolous shopping. I got bad shopping habits. Amazon gets all my money. Even now, looking at Marnisha, those earrings, I'm like, where'd you get this?
Dollar, honey. These are $1.
But I'm gonna try to stick
through.
and take that money that I'm saving instead of doing clothing shopping and investing it back in my businesses. So you don't realize how much money you spend frivolously like that until you look back and you're like, oh, I can afford that microphone that I need to get, or I can afford that studio session that I thought was just too much before. So
I mean,
that's what I've been working on.
And to that effect, like you can always find where she got that. She said she got it from Dollar. You can always take that and flip it on Amazon and eBay, make your money back.
The beauty supply on Manchester and St. Andrews.
Yeah,
The little pink one.
Now, what I want you to do,
But I'm not going to help you.
buy 2 pair and flip the other one and get you some profit. So take one, put it on an Etsy store, put it on Amazon, put it on eBay, put it on OfferUp, whatever you got to do. Sell the other pair so that, you know what I mean, your habits become.
Exactly.
Well, that's good. That's a good point.
Let's go to Mike. Oh, no, I said Roderick. Roderick, go ahead and then Mike.
What's up? I decided to give up TV.
Okay.
Like, I find myself, like, just because I get bored with my tasks or what I'm doing, like, I just turn on the TV. Or I try to play myself and, like, watch TV and do what I'm doing, like, on the computer. Or if I'm studying something, like, try to watch TV at the same time, and it don't work out at all.
Because it's just creating an excuse for you to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And your brain can't really, like, you're giving yourself an active distraction on purpose and saying that, you know what, I'll be all right with this distraction. And I do that sometimes too when I'm writing. I'll try to put a movie on and then I have to realize, like, nah, cut it off, B. Because it's cutting, even though that I'll figure out a flow to start working, it's cutting down my productivity.
Right.
Yeah. So that without it, I would probably be 50% more productive. With it, I'm like 20% productive. So
my attention span is slow. So, like, I mean, it was like real short. So I just be in and out. It's a problem.
Yeah, no, that ain't good. I used to try to remedy that with putting on like very boring movies. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean, even that's just an excuse mechanism. So anywhere you can chop down and cut excuses is kind of like cutting down expenses so you can get to more profit. You know what I mean? Which is just getting to more and more discipline. All right, so Mike and then Nigel.
Well, I'm trying to give up. I'm going to give up alcohol, cigarettes, and meat.
All right. So which one have you gave up already?
Well, I gave up alcohol and cigarettes. Meat, not yet.
Okay, cool. We'll work with that. Let's just go for alcohol and cigarettes for January. You know what I mean? And we'll work on meat later. You know what I mean? One thing at a time. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of dangerous to give up too many things at once because it's such a habit that your body's going to crave some consistency. So it's like, yo, we got to make up for you just giving up on everything. You know what I mean? So it's like you always want to have something that you replace it with to keep your rhythm going. So that's why cutting things off cold turkey can work sometime for some people, but it's dangerous for others because what end up happening when that rhythm is thrown off, you kind of go into maybe a little slight depression because your body doesn't have a rhythm, and you need that rhythm to maintain balance within your life. And then what you attribute depression to, like, oh, I don't have my liquor no more, I don't have my cigarettes no more. That's why they must have been maintaining my happiness or maintaining my balance. When really it's just your rhythm. So when you give up that, let me replace it with something else. You know what I mean? Like everything has to keep it balanced. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't want nobody to just give up something without replacing it with something else. So something else has to become your liquor and cigarettes. So just find a replacement for that in some productivity. Maybe it might be some food. It might be some flower seeds. You know what I mean? It might be something that just take up that rhythm of when I wanted to drink. You might want to grab you some non-alcoholic beers or something just to get that taste for a while until you no longer need it. Whatever it is that can keep that rhythm so that you keep consistency and really comes to a point where your body's like, you know what? I don't even need that other thing no more. Cool. We good without it. You know what I mean? So that's how I work, and I know that's how the brain works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you, Mike. I appreciate you.
Night. Appreciate you.
Yeah, how you feeling, brother? How you feeling?
Man, I'm blessed to be every day to achieve.
Okay, it's good. Well, I gave up social media. I gave up 3 things as well, including with Sister Jackson. I gave up 3 things. I gave up individuals that hinder your growth. I gave up television and social media.
Okay, you gave up the whole gambit, everything. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, give you a clap for that one. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, that's what's up, man. That's so like I say, man, anytime you give up something big like that, you make sure that you replace it with other things. So if you give away, if you have individuals in your life that you say you gave up, replace them with better influences, replace them with mentors, replace them with something else. You giving up social media, replace that with some work that you're doing, replace it with something so that you keep that flow, because it's all about consistently being in motion as well. You know what I mean? Distract yourself with more work. Let that be your reward system. You know what I mean? Because whatever was your crutch at first, when you give it up, it's still going to be hard for you to walk. So you have to figure out something else that allows you to walk and flow. So thank you, good brother. I appreciate you. Let's go to Margaret. Margaret, what's one thing that you gave up or giving up this month, just to showcase your discipline towards your goal?
Actually, I'm working on giving up 2. First one is meat. I kind of dropped down from eating what I'm used to and still just like working on not eating it at all. And then social media. That one's a big one. I noticed that it's like affecting me and getting a lot of my work done. So yeah, those.
So I'm gonna ask, this is for you and Nigel. So does your work require any social media? Is the question. Or can it increase it by using it?
It does. Somewhat.
Because this is what I want you to do. And it's the same thing I was talking to him earlier about the Promadera trick, is that you can use social media for okay, so for me, there's different apps that I have. I have creative apps and then I have social apps, right? So if I'm spending more time on my creative apps, and let's say I'm designing a post or I'm designing anything, then the only time that I really need to go on social media is when I'm done using my creative app to go over here to post this. You know what I mean? And so therefore it cuts down the time that I'm on social media and I'm only using it directly as a tool to have effect. And so I might give myself, you know what, I'll give yourself 25 minutes. After you post a post, make sure you comment on everybody and reply to everybody. Make sure you DM whoever you need to, then get back off of it. You know what I mean? Even if you have to go to the extreme of, I delete and revamp the app every single day, basically telling yourself I'm only using it when I'm using it as a tool. You know what I mean? Instead of just using it and becoming a tool of it. So, like I say, if you go replace that, there's other creative apps, there's brain apps, there's other things that may be good for you. So replace it with something that's better for you rather than just getting rid of it, because social media is a great tool and it's better to master it than to give it up. You know what I mean? So that's my advice.
Awesome.
So thank you, Margaret. Roderick. What's one thing that you gave up or ready to give up to showcase your discipline? He gave up his sound.
Yeah, you know, I already went.
Oh, you already went. My bad.
Yeah.
Yashika.
Peace. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I gave up people this year. Well, it started like November, and it was because I was just pretty much helping a lot of people that didn't want to help themselves, helping other people build their businesses, and pushing everybody else's stuff but mine. So I had started my business a while back, but I wasn't pushing it like that. So now I actually quit my credit business. I didn't quit, but I just focus more now on what my music is, something that I've been loving. So I'm going in that like full effect.
Okay, cool. So is that something that, so you said you gave up business. It's not something that I usually hear. Is that something that was an income or something that you can still do? You know what I mean? Or did you just
Yes,
in your life to just give it up completely because it has no benefit?
I enjoy helping the people, but it's not what I love doing, even though it is my own business. So eventually, when my music kicks off, royalties really don't start coming in for like a year, because I told you about the project I'm working on. So when things start to kick off, then I'm going to give up that business, and I'll probably just give it to my son.
Okay, well, right now, you know, they always say create a business so that one day you can sell it. Is there a way to where you can just teach somebody else to run it so it doesn't become a liability for the asset? So, you know, I mean, anytime I hear a person giving up business, I would rather you take these skills that you specialized in now, teach it to somebody else. Therefore, you just have a business making recurring income rather than giving it up.
Okay.
That's just my suggestion, but that's just what I heard.
Okay.
So thank you.
And then also what I want to give up, I also want to give up chicken.
Oh no, we don't want to give up things. We just give up things.
Okay.
We don't want to give up things. We just give them up. It only takes a day to start a habit.
Okay.
Start. You know what I mean? A want is always a want is putting on so much power that chicken has, meaning that chicken is more powerful than your will. So when you say you want to, you saying that chicken got so much damn power over me, I want to give it up, but I can't. So if you can give up people, you can give up chicken. Just to be honest.
True.
So we just got to look at things a little different, that your willpower is strong enough to where you can give up that thing that you want to give up. It's wants and then there's will. Don't your wants or your wants be stronger than your will. You know what I mean? Go ahead and get that up. Start.
Okay, I will.
You can start right now.
Starting today. I just made chicken tacos.
Earlier.
Started today.
If you got some chicken in the fridge, go ahead. Don't waste it now. Go ahead, cook that up. However you cook it up, or go give it to a homeless person. However you want to. Let it turn into a good deed.
Okay.
Let me see. So, Noelia. How do I pronounce it? Noelia. Noelia.
Noelia.
Noelia.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So what is that thing that you sacrificed and ready to give up?
I gave up watching motivational videos.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I used to watch a lot. Like if I wasn't on Instagram looking at memes, I would get on YouTube and just like let it play in the background, listening to Les Brown, Abraham Hicks. Like
and
it
so
was like
you,
very bad addiction.
You listen to the podcast, the Digital Consciousness, right?
Right? Yes, I did.
Yeah, that one made a lot of people feel guilty, so I'm glad it did its job.
Yep. It did. I was like, oh man, I knew better.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just gonna do better.
Okay.
And just being more consistent with the my alkaline change and posting more content on that, and looking up things that are like, I switched out the conscious videos or things of that nature for like recipes and things so that I can create more in what I want to do.
Things that are more that's applicable to you right now.
Right.
Excellent.
Yeah, relevant.
I love that. So let's get one last person. Kelly Smith. Did I already do you? Because I got to get into this lesson before we get out of here. Kelly, are you there? Maybe Kelly not there. We're going to get into this lesson right now, so we get to finish this out.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, right now. You know what I mean? So go ahead. Tell us that one thing that you gave up.
I already went.
Okay, cool. Then we good. So we ready. All right.
Okay.
All right. So this one. All right. So this one is going to come with a new homework for each one of you all to do. And there's something also that I suggested that you all do, which was create a purpose key. And this is all about sensory goal statements. So sensory goal statements are goals that are deeply entrained and attached to your senses, you know, and this comes from neuropsychology, you know, when it comes to about discipline. So when you are creating a sensory goal statement, you know, you're creating something that you basically can experience with all of your senses before you actually go through it. And so it's first, it must be result orientated. So you're creating a goal that you want to, that you're going to do, and you're thinking about the result. You know what I mean? So basically you're saying what you want to get out of the achievement. So let's say if the same thing, if a person is stop eating meat, the goal, the result that you want is to start feeling lighter, to start feeling better, to start having more energy. So as you're writing your goal down, you also want to write down the results that you want to get from each goal. So you get to attach that with that feeling and that sense of reward that you're going to be able to achieve. Then 2, you give yourself a time frame. You say that, okay, I want to stop eating. That's the reason I gave you all a month. Let's capture this in a month. It's much easier than a person to be like, oh, I'm giving this up for life, than them saying that, oh, I'm just giving this up for a week or 2 months. But when this time frame is more so, you saying that I'm giving myself this amount of time to achieve this goal. So it might look like I want this done by March 23rd, that I will have this goal done, because it's only going to take me 6 amount weeks to get this done if I'm doing work at this particular pace. So you're setting a time frame for your achievement. So you're creating a criteria of your success. So therefore, it sets you up to do something every single day to meet that goal criteria, to meet that goal of success. So that means that if I want to get this done by March 23rd, then I have to do this work every day. I got to work at least 3 times a week on this, or 5 times a week on this at 6 hours a day. Then that should get me to my goal. So third, you're creating a measurable goal. And that measurable goal is basically like whatever you say you want to do, when you get to a certain level, when you actually consider yourself to be successful, right? Because a lot of people are working with no measurement of what they even believe success even looks like. So let's say if, you know, you just had a materialistic goal that, oh, I want to save enough money, I'll get this car, I'll have my business over here, or I'll have my job position here. That's when I'll consider myself successful. So you start to create these criteria and these time frames to when you get there, then it starts to feel a little more achievable and believable for yourself. You know what I mean? And then you're giving yourself something to work towards. You know what I mean? Instead of just sort of working in the randomness of, let me just see what I can achieve. No, give yourself little things along the journey that be like, oh, that represents my success. I got there. Therefore, you get to have this sense of celebration for when you get there, and you get to think about how you're going to celebrate. Write down your purpose statement. Excuse me. So your purpose statement is important. So let's say my purpose statement is I want to enlighten 19 million people, publish my first book by February 19, 2019. Yeah, I mean, that's my purpose statement with a time frame, a criteria, and I'll consider myself successful if I did that. Yeah, I mean, so you write down a purpose statement so that it encompasses everything that you're doing, and it's attached to your truth. So if you reach that purpose, then you become fulfilled every single day by being successful towards your purpose statement. So if a person asks you what your purpose is, yeah, I know exactly what my purpose is. I got it written down. And when you're writing it down, you're actually doing some work towards your purpose. You know what I mean? So that work of writing it down is important. Because not only is like you have it on paper and you can envision, it's always in your head because you can see your purpose. It's written down. You know your purpose. It's in your head all the time. It's like a salesman pitch to yourself. This is my purpose. You're selling it to yourself. So this is actually, you know, visual stimuli boards, you know, surround your mind with your vision. You know what I mean? This is important to say that if I want to be an author, right? And I'm thinking about the level of authorship that I want to get to, then I might put up Michelle Obama picture with her and her book because she just had the #1 bestsellers list. I might put up Gary Vee picture and Charlemagne the God up because all of that is towards my goal. So every single day I'm waking up and I'm surrounding myself with a vision towards that goal. You know what I mean? And those people, those things are always in my head reminding me as soon as I wake up, boom, that's the goal. That's what we getting to. That's what I'm about to do. So you now you have your sight. You know what I mean? It's always in your sight. It's always in your imaginative field. So you get to impression your habits to mirror your reality. You know what I mean? And so that's important with everything because you want to take on the habits of those authors. You want to take on the habits of those people who did it. And so even if it's like you know, you want to be rich, then you, of course, you would have your version of what you believe rich and successful looks like. So you might have pictures of cars or yachts or money or, you know, large corporate buildings or whatever it is, so that you start to actually move and go about and be in those places. You need to be surrounded by the stimuli of that what you want to achieve so that your habits start lining up to produce those pictures that you have in your head. You know what I mean? And so like your environment starts to dictate to you what you actually want to achieve. If you ever forget, you can't. It's right there. That's the reason I'm doing it. So that's important to have that around because it's all sensory goal. Remember, you're trying to hit all your 5 senses. And it will have a powerful effect on your motivation and your drive. You know what I mean? Your drive is so important. I was talking to a guy who's a multi-millionaire today, and he was telling me about his 21-year-old son who's CEO of this company and about to make his first million, and he was talking about his drive. And it made me think about myself like, wow, I got to do more. But it was a refreshing conversation, an optimist conversation of like, damn, I can go back home and do a lot more than what I was doing. Let me take a step back, reevaluate my life, and get to a different level. Like, I want to have that constant drive of when I was that hungry all the time and force myself to be like, no, you need to do this. You got to do this. You got to speak to more people. You got to do this. Like, that drive and that hunger is everything. Like, the world got us, like, even if you go fake it till you make it till it becomes your truth, let the world see you hungry as hell so that everybody else tells you how hungry you are. Everybody else tells you how great of a drive. So you force your environment to be your positive reinforcement by you putting out that vision towards them. And they be like, damn, that boy driven. Every time somebody talk to you, like, boy, you motivate me, you driven. So they reminding you, and times that you down, they telling you driven. You like, oh shit, I am driven, huh? Let me put some work in. So you need that constant. Let that work ethic make it mirror, you know what I mean, what you want to hear from everybody else around you. Force them to give you positive feedback. Make a list of all your goals. It's pretty simple, but most of everybody don't make a list of their goals. And we've been hearing stuff like that for a long time, but it's always better to have them in front of you. And to just basically have it organized so it breeds the organization towards knocking them down. Your small goals and then your big goals. And then, you know, have it goal set, not just that you're writing them down, but get specific. Get very as specific as possible. You know what I mean? So even if it's like your feelings towards that point where you become successful, I want you to get to a point where you are imagining exactly how you feel after you reach your goal. You know what I mean? Then I want you to imagine what's the temperature like in the room. Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it fair? You know what I mean? What's the scent like in the air? Is it like vanilla? Is it like roses or something? You know what I mean? Like when you can drive it so deep into your senses, you know what I mean? You really crystallize that vision. And then you find yourself living it out. So get I'm talking about so specific, it don't even make no sense. Like you telling yourself you wearing a soft cotton shirt that day. You know what I mean? You wearing these certain socks. Like, get specific. This will help stimulate emotional desire. You know what I mean? So, you know, you want to think of that. Think of all of your reward possibilities. You know what I mean? Think about what your closet gonna look like when you get a certain amount of money. Think about what kind of car you're gonna be driving. You know what I mean? How well maintenance is going to be. Think about the better friends and families and kind of conversations you're gonna have in relationships. You're getting very specific about your life and you detailing it. It literally creates an emotional desire so that you keep working until you reach that emotional desire. You know, it's a sensory development of success. And it keeps you more disciplined along that path. So yeah, like I said, you know, get it to the point where you can taste the type of drink, whether it's tart, whether it's sweet, you know, whether you're feeling happy, whether you're feeling humble, whether you're feeling confident. You know, go through every one of your senses. What did it sound like? What was the music playing? All of it. Taste, see, hear, feel it. Gather what you want to achieve when you want to achieve. So the first one was gather what you want to achieve. You know, it was when you want to achieve it, your time frame. Gather images to surround your goal to impression your mind. 3, add in your sensory goal orientation, which I was telling you to get specific. And then let me see. And then for lastly, what I want you all to do, and this is homework that you all can do, is that I want you to record your goal, but I want you to do it in a sense to where you're recording what you're going to achieve, but I want you to do it with the utmost enthusiasm and believability as possible. So the goal for this is I want you to play it back on certain parts of goals that you say you want to achieve, and I want you to listen to yourself on whether you even believe yourself. Parts where your tone might get low, parts where your tone might get higher. You're listening to yourself for believability. And then if it's not real, maybe do it over the next day or do it over right after that and say it with even more enthusiasm. Listen to hear yourself so that you know whether it's true or not. You know what I mean? And keep recording it until you get the best, most enthusiastic version. You know what I mean? You're putting it out there, and then let that record be your record. You know what I mean? Let that record, you can play it every single day that you want to. You know what I mean? And what you're doing is you programming your subconscious with your most enthusiastic self. You know what I mean? Like that tone of voice that you have, subconsciously, you know when you're telling the truth. So creating that, it creates a voice for you that's always programming you subconsciously. So if you took that enthusiastic message that you have to yourself, every day you listening to it, every day, your most enthusiastic version of self that wants to complete a goal is programming you. So anytime you down, now I'm going to listen to my most enthusiastic self. I have it captured and recorded. You know what I mean? And that's the frequency you want to be on all the time, is that level of enthusiasm. And anytime you not listen to that recording and remind yourself, this is the level of enthusiasm I have to have towards my goal. You have to taste, you have to feel, you have to hear, you have to see. It has to be in full sensory development. So that day that you meet that goal, you know what I mean? It felt like, damn, I already lived this before. I've been here before. You know what I mean? Like everything is intentful. I did it all on purpose. You know what I mean? And that sort of command over your life allows you to be able to look at the next 5 years, to look at the next year, and instead of not knowing where you will be, you know exactly where you will be. And every day you know exactly what you're going to be doing, getting to where you want to be. It keeps you disciplined anytime you want to waver. This is neuropsychology. This is getting to the in-depth of your mind to make sure you stay disciplined. Not to say, oh, I'm going to be a little more disciplined in life. No, that don't work for people because you end up procrastinating in the environment. So it's saying that, no, I will develop a scientific rhythm towards my progress and my success. So that's your homework for yourself. You know what I mean? And that's going to be your gift for yourself as well. Recording that down. All right. I have to go. We're in hour 10 right now. I think we might even have another class tomorrow. I'll be in Houston. But I think when I get to a hotel, if I have time, I think we might just throw in an extra class this week. Yeah, I'll be ready in a second. Hey, hold on, good brother. I'm about to step out. Right now. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go to this event. But I'll also, inshallah, if I get the opportunity, while I'm traveling, if you all have any questions, outside of the video, send me a message, and possibly I'll just do some video calls tomorrow. Just, call you on the phone just to talk to a few of you all about your goals and whatever way that I can help, you know what I mean? Or whatever way we can collaborate on anything of that nature that you might not want to bring up with the group. So, the goal is to get deeply involved with each other and build and create those relationships and keep each other disciplined along the way. So, like I said, you don't have to go, but I do. So I'll keep it up if you all want to. But I had to go speak real quick. So thank you all. And as always, you can always DM me and write, what you learned today. I always need those messages. So let me see here. This is recorded, but I will leave it. All right, cool. All right. Peace and blessings, everybody. Thank you all for tapping in, man. This is the Keys Academy tonight. I hope you all learned something, and I hope you can take it, and I hope it becomes the enthusiasm and the discipline you need to meet your goals.
Peace, brother.
Thank you.
Peace and love, everybody.
Love and light.